Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ice HQ Ice Rink in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, on Wurundjeri Woiwurrung traditional land for the Pan Pacific under 17 and unders 3 versus 4, a grand final game today between the New Zealand Kiwi team and the Australia Green. These two teams played each other just a couple of days ago on Saturday the 11th. The Kiwis going down 3-4 in an absolute thriller. That one, a very, very exciting game indeed. The Kiwis yet to win one. They've had some achingly close chances. Yesterday they played against Australia Gold and it was all looking pretty good for them up until the third period. With just a little bit of inconsistency allowed a couple of goals early on in that third period. The Australia Gold team sneaking in a few goals. But they came back hard, the Kiwis, and fought hard all the way through the game, and it was a great challenge. If you're not familiar with the rules here at this tournament, it is 3 by 15 minutes of stop time. So every time the referee blows the whistle, the clock will stop. And it is full checking ice hockey, and these are 17 and under players, so they're not allowed to be 18, but you can be 17 or under that age if necessary. And we've got statistics apparently on esports on the website, so you can track that and follow along as the game is played. And hopefully get the statistics more accurate than I will, but I'll do my best to try and bring you the most accurate coverage that we can of the game while you're over here. A special welcome to everyone who is tuning into the stream from New Zealand. It's great to have you guys over here and playing against us. They've acquitted themselves very well indeed, and they've had some great games. Just a little bit of inconsistency has cost them on a number of occasions when they've just needed to tie up players through the slot, but they played very well here indeed. The Australia Green team probably feeling a little bit hard done by, but they are playing in the 3v4 grand final, and later on today we have the Hong Kong team playing against the Australia Gold team. Hong Kong yet to be defeated. They have been excellent throughout this tournament. Very, very hard to get past indeed. In the net for New Zealand team, just trying to get an idea on who it is. You've got Lucas Duggan and Finley Morton, the two goaltenders for New Zealand, and they have been very well tested, certainly throughout this tournament. They've done extremely well, and I think Morton with a very good save percentage. I'll just get that from the statistics. Just bear with me for a second. I've been told that it's now up to date. Again, you can look that up yourself if you're not sure. It's on Esports Desk, and you can basically just look for the IHA statistics and find that on Esports Desk and get that information. So the way the game works, this particular format, 3 by 15 minutes of stop time, there will be an ice cut between the second and the third period, so they get fresh ice for the third. And if it does go to all tied up at the end of regulation, there will be 5 minutes of 3-on-3 sudden death overtime, just like an NHL game. And if it's still tied up at the end of those 5 minutes of sudden death overtime, which is not stop time, by the way, then there will be a penalty shootout to decide the winner. So regardless, there will be a result. There will be no ties in this game. Someone's going to win it. And I'm sure the Kiwis would like to get one on the board. They haven't had a win yet through the tournament, 3 games so far, but all of them have been close. Can they do it tonight? Just fix up that little bit of consistency and make sure they own the space in front of the net. If they can do that, shut down Australia Green, then they give themselves a really good chance. The two teams warming up now. They've got quite different warm-up styles. The Australia team now all rung around their goaltender, taking potties at him. And the Kiwis doing a break-in drill as well down the other end of the rink. The Ice HQ Ice Rink here in Reservoir was built and put together in 2018, so it's a pretty new rink. It's got a sand on concrete base, if you're interested in the trivia of it. And it's a full NHL size rink, so it's 200 foot by 85 foot, or if you're metricated, it is 61 metres by 26 metres. So it's a standard NHL size. The rink boards here were arranged by the rink builders here, in particular a gentleman by the name of Ross Fisher, who put it all together in 2018. And the boards here were all a college somewhere in the US. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but it is a sand on concrete base, so underneath the ice there is a layer of sand with the cooling pipes in it, and underneath that a whole heap of layers of concrete and insulation and so forth. So hopefully we don't get too much permafrost thawing underneath it, and it all starts to float away in another 10 years. But it's been pretty good. We love this rink here. It's a hockey. We're all about hockey here at Ice HQ, and we're thrilled to be able to bring the Pan Pacific tournament here to you. A nice little rink here in Reservoir. Reservoir is an interesting little part of Melbourne. It's where the Olympic Village for the 1956 Olympics was held. So anyone who is travelling around here and you notice some of the relatively old-looking fibro houses with funny-looking porches, and they've all got holes in them. Those holes are actually symbols of the Olympic rings from the 1956 Olympics. Quite a while ago now. I don't think too many of us alive were around for that one. And the local pub is called the Olympic Hotel, which the Olympic Committee got a bit cranky about until they realised it was actually okay because it was from 1956, not from Sydney 2000. So that's a little bit of trivia about the rink here. Again, full size, NHL dimensions, and a full glass all the way around it as well. So players can use the full features. We're going to be getting underway very, very shortly in the game. We're just having a last little chat for the two teams. The Kiwis all crowding around the goaltender and giving a big rev up. We know how important it is. The goaltender is in the right frame of mind. And it looks like it's Duggan starting in the net for the Kiwis. And I'll just be able to get you who's starting in the net for Australia Ground. I think it might be Lockie Scott. Not 100% sure at the moment. We'll see when they actually line up. But that'll be very shortly indeed. We'll be getting the national anthems of the two teams. I think we've got Dave Dobbin all queued up and ready to go. And for Australia, we will of course have Advanced Australia Fair, or we're just going to go straight into a face-up. My apologies, I don't have all the details on the run sheet for this, but we'll see how it pans out. And we'll try and bring you an entertaining and informative coverage of the game. We do have an artificial intelligence tracker here on the camera, which will pan around with the action. It does lag a little bit behind the play when it gets into the corners. So I'll do my best to try and inform you of what's happening with that. I'm right here beside the ice with a pretty good view of everything. Hopefully I can get the numbers and the names right as well. Particular pronunciations. The Kiwi one's quite good. Later on this afternoon when the Hong Kong team plays, I'm going to struggle with that one, but I'll do my best to get the Chinese names right as best as possible. Pretty handy crowd here at Ice HQ. No anthems. We're going straight into the game. The place is full, as you can hear. And we're about to get underway. In the net for Australia is Xavier Hale. And puck's dropped. Underway we go. Kiwis start off winning the face-off nicely, and they play it up the boards, but they don't manage to get it cleanly out. They dump it in now deeply, the Kiwis. Good forechecking pressure as Gurnall races in to try and create an opportunity. Puts the puck in the slot, but no one there for the Kiwis. And the Australian team will break it out, but only as far as Sangster. And he played it across ice. And now on the breaking now with a little bit of speed is Hansen. Hansen gets the first shot away. And the first touch of the puck for the goaltender for the Kiwis is a safe one. And with 14 and 40 minutes and 30 seconds, you can see both teams straight away getting changes. It's good discipline. 30-second shift is going to keep the intensity up nice and high. If you're not familiar with it, a shift in ice hockey usually shouldn't go for much more than about 45 seconds or so. So a 30-second change is a good one. And a puck into the slot there by the Australians. It was played in there by, I think, Arthur. The Australians loop it around the outside to get it up to the D-man, who just pokes it in under good forechecking pressure, under good pressure there from Barker, who tried to get the puck out. But the Australians now try to get it into the slot. It's loose and bobbling around. Good pressure there and ownership of the slot by Hadro. And he cleaned out the threat, and it'll be picked up by Duggan for another face-off. It's interesting to see too how the two teams will set up for their face-offs. The defensive zone face-off for the Kiwis actually represents a really good counter-attacking opportunity. You can see the Australian defence punching right in close there. Only Thurston driving right in quickly. If the Kiwis get behind them on a face-off, they get a good chance. But this time, it was a shot on the net, recorded, but not getting through anyone. As Schucher tries to get around the back of the net. He's looking for someone loose in the slot. No one there at the moment for Australia. Good zone defence by the Kiwis as they clear the puck out of the zone. Picking it up now is Sipakov, who plays it across to his deep partner. Can't get it cleanly. Nice pressure there, Barker. Barker gets past the pressure. He's looking for someone in the slot. He hasn't got anyone. His teammate's changing, so he's battling on his own. Kiwis get fresh legs on now. So still fighting away, surrounded by Nalos and Thurston. Was Barker. Barker did a great job of tying it up under a lot of pressure from the Australians. Puck goes across the slot in the middle. Barker will be looking to get a change now. He's been on a while. The Australians coming back with a 3-on-2 if they can do it quickly, but it's dumped in deep instead as they change as well. Kiwis now looking to break it out. They've got time and space. Australians with a little bit of a messy change, still getting the D on. And they break it out, the Kiwis. They're just caught behind the net. Some good forechecking pressure by the Australians. They get a shot away and a goal. It's Angus Hayes who picked up a puck in the high slot, was a little bit loose. And you can see on the replay, Hayes gets a little bit of room, gets a shot away, and that one goes past Duggan for the first goal of the game after 13 and a half minutes. So the Australians who won from 6 shots. The Kiwis yet to get a shot and looked good for them there for a moment. Australians with that little bit of a sloppy change, but they couldn't get the puck out of the zone quickly enough to take advantage of it. Face off now, this time won by the Australians as they push through once more. And they just lob it in deep, but behind the net. Duggan now forced to kick it out. The Kiwis looking to break it out, is flying in quickly here to get the puck, Arthur, and he drives her back in deep. Australians with the puck in the slot. Kiwis trying to get the puck out of the zone. They're still stuck. It's flung in high. Goes deep now into the corner, which you can probably see better than I can on the stream. Up on the point now, trying to get something handy happening with it is Prukovic. He tries to fire it in, but is dispossessed. And the Kiwis coming back now, and that's fired in deep by Harricks. And the first touch of the puck for the Australian goaltender there in Duggan, who makes it save, and it will be picked up. Referee there, Brian Johnson, who will be playing in the Ducks in the AWIHL program coming up over summer. ISHQ here very pleased to be involved in the Australian Women's Ice Hockey League. And Brian Johnson, one of the leading lights of that particular team. So the first defensive zone face-off for the Australians. The wingers moving up quick, pucks loose in the slot. They couldn't quite get to it, the Kiwis, and just sneaking past the foot there of Sangster, who has to go back and clean it up. He looks to rim the puck safely around the back. Then it put in the slot, though. Fortunately for him, there was McDowell. McDowell now trying to clear the puck out of the zone. And the Kiwis managed to get the puck not quite out. Now they clear the zone. But it's a bit of a battle. Isolated there with the puck is Todd. Battling away for it, stuck on the half boards. Now the Kiwis have a little bit of space onto the stick of Sangster, who looks up high, passes back to a defensive partner who's looping around on a good paw checker there by Bennett for the Australians. Diving in now Boyd for the Australians, who tries to get past the pressure, but he's run into a wall of black. Reminiscent of the All Blacks there. You don't want to go taking that one on. Puck into the slot though. Australians get a shot away under pressure, but it was good defensive pressure by the New Zealand team. And they break out now with speed, chipping it through McDowell, puts it deep into the corner, no icing. And now the Australians will break it out, but great forechecking pressure there. The Kiwis, that's some good work by Moo. Puck around the back of the net, it'll be picked up this time by Todd. Todd under pressure, can't hold it. The Australians break out quickly onto Bennett, who plays it from his knees. Australians changing. Kiwis now with a bit of a chance, but nice defensive work by Boyd, who was there and wisely played the puck back up the ice. Under pressure, that's a good choice. Kiwis go cross ice, get away with it. Out of the defensive zone, always risky. And they just chip it over the top of a wall of green. Enterprising little play, trying to set up the forward who's on the check, on the pressure, driving in. And now ends up onto the stick of Hadro, who dumped it in deep. No icing. The referee had a hand up for it, but it wouldn't go. Sorry, linesman there. Australians stuck on the half-boards. They can't clear the puck out. The Kiwis now drive it in deep. Australians back in numbers. Good forward-checking pressure, though, by Todd, who's done a great job of containing the Australian pressure. Buried in deep. Now the puck's high in the slot, but they couldn't quite get anyone to it. Coming back now with some speed on the puck with a little bit of room is Nalos. Nalos is dispossessed. The puck goes across the other side onto the stick of Sucha. And now the Australians look to reset up around the top of the zone. Nice clean hit there by Todd, who introduces the Australians to their own ice in all the right kind of a way. Trying to return the favour though, but missing as Todd got through, but ran into Sipov, who stopped it. And now it's driven back into the corner. Kiwis rimming the puck around the back of the net. Can't get the puck out of the zone though. They're still stuck. They battle away. It's still in. Finally, they get the puck out, and now they've got a 1-on-2. Green back in numbers as the Kiwis changing. Just looking a little bit isolated there was Hadro. The Australians now break it up through the middle, but again for them, Brian not able to make the connection for the pass. Kiwis going cross ice for the neutral zone. A little bit lucky to get away with it, but they do. On the stick now of Haysmith. Haysmith caught on the boards. Coming back the other way, Graham chips it back out. Back to his D, he looks up ice, sees a bit of space. And now with a nice little cross move there was Graham, but Graham's run into Sipakov. And now going back to pick it up for the Australians, Thurston. Thurston with a bit of room on the boards. Gets it past a wall of black and a referee in black and white. Now the Australians coming back with a bit of speed. They try and chip it past, but getting body in the way, Howard. And now the Australians look to try and get another shot in onto the stick of Thurston. Thurston dispossessed. They fire in from a distance through traffic, even went high and wide. As Duggan forced to track everything, and in the end plucks the puck out of the sky with a lovely glove save. Follies love those ones. You lob it at them, they will catch it all day. You see this on the replay. It comes in high, and Duggan just says, yep, that little black rubber thing, that's mine, I'll have it. And we will have a face-off in the defensive zone for the Kiwis. See if they can turn it into a break-off. You can see the Australians pinching in a bit there. Quebec pinching in a little bit, but if the Kiwis can get a quick movement, and they do, but they couldn't quite get out in time to shut down Arthur, who dumped it back in. Now the Kiwis with numbers on the breakout. Cross cleanly into the zone. No offside the call. The shot fired, forcing the save there by Hale. Puck went high through the slot, but no one could pick it up. Now with a little bit of speed, Bennett manages to get past the pressure, but nice piece of cross back work there by Howard. And he ran it deep into the corner safely. Howard now going into the corner to try and battle on it. The Australians cycling around high as they change. A little bit slow on the change there, Australia Green. D just ambling back into the game. They may pay for that now as the Kiwis come back with a 2-on-2 if they can cross the zone cleanly, and they do. A little bit of light footwork by Moo, managed to stay up. Puck was loose in the slot. Hale forced to make the change. It's broken out there by the Australians, but the Kiwis now pick it back up on Gurnall, and he's cycling around through his own defensive zone trying to find an option. Has to dump it back. He was being well marked. The Australians battling on the half boards for it, but the Kiwis managed to clear it up the board, but kept in. They can't get the puck out of the zone just yet. Now they've got a chance to. It's back onto the stick of Furland. Furland looping around behind the net. He's pressured though, picked up there by Hansen, who shut that option down fairly smartly. Now they're on the cords. Still the goal, still lead 1-0. A shot fired from slot, but under a lot of pressure. That one wasn't going to go. It was nicely seen there by Duggan, and the Kiwis will clear it out of the zone. They're not changing this time. The Australians changing under defensive pressure. Picked up now by Todd, who had a little bit of a chance but couldn't get it cleanly. He loops around trying to put some pressure on, but coming back now with speed, Chaos. He passes it through, but it's picked those cross-ice passes. You do love them getting picked off. We have too many players on the ice for Australia Green. A little bit of a bench mismanagement issue. So we will have our first power play of the game as the Australians will have to sit a bench minor. So for 2 minutes or less, the Kiwis will have an extra player on the ice compared to Australia. Australians with 4. Be interesting to see what penalty kill they choose to use. If you're not familiar with the rule now, the player has to sit over in the penalty box for 2 minutes in the naughty corner. And the Australian team with just the 4 on the ice. The Australian team can ice the puck now with impunity if they like. They win the face-off cleanly. It was a nice win by Brian, an important one. And the Australians try to clear the puck out of the zone, but keeping it in beautifully there, the Kiwis. They fire a shot through traffic and score. Lovely goal there, Ryan Howard on the point. The Australians were trying to clear it, and Howard did exactly the right thing from that point, just fired it in on the net hard. And there wasn't much there that Scott could do about it, so that Hale could do about that one. And in it goes, and we're all tied up at 1 goal apiece with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go. That wipes the penalty, of course. We are now 1-1. A lovely goal there by Ryan Howard. I'm not sure that anyone else touched it. It might have got a deflection. We'll get some corrections on that in the stats in a moment, but certainly Howard's shot that created the goal. The Australians now coming back with aggression. They want to try and get that one back and get the lead if they can. The Kiwis with a little bit of spring in the tail. They go behind the net. Lovely reversal there by, I think, Howard, the goal scorer from earlier. He's coming up with some speed. Sorry, tell a lie. That's Graham. Graham blasts past everyone, coast to coast. Stops in the corner, looks for a player in the slot. He had one. Too many green jerseys, though. Another shot fired in. Harricks fires through traffic, but bodies in the way for the green. Brian now coming back with speed for the Australians. He lobs it in deep and chases. He's got chasing him hard, Howard. And he shuts that one down. Puck's loose in the slot, though. Australians with another chance to fire. Still loose in the slot. The Kiwis have got a chance to cancel it out. There's a bit of a rugby scrum occurring. But everyone dying all over that. A ruck, not a maul, and out comes the puck high, fired in by the Australians again, but bodies in the way for New Zealand. They shut that one down. Sikoff has to fire it out under pressure. He's being forechecked very aggressively indeed by McDowell. Playing very well indeed at the moment. Just fluffing on the pass though. Sangster couldn't clear it out of the zone. Does eventually, and that will go for icing. No call the icing. Referee waves that one off. The Australians now having to battle in their own zone. And now they get it out. Just getting past the forechecking pressure. Just losing footing there. Briefly, the Australians on the breakout, but they're coming with speed now. As driving in hard there is Sucha. Sucha tried to do something useful with it, but the goaltender made the save. And now we have a hooking penalty. It looks like it's going to be on... I'll tell you the number in just a second. There's a hooking penalty there on Luke Furland, who'll be sitting too. So the Australians now with their chance to exercise their power play. We'll see how the Kiwi team set up their penalty kill. And with 5 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock, we're all tied up at 1 goal apiece. The Australians with twice as many shots on the net. The Kiwis taking their chances when they've got them, though, and they did very well indeed with that earlier goal. Face-off this time won by the Kiwis. It's an important one to win that defensive zone face-off. They try and clear the puck out of the zone. They don't, though. The Australians keep it in up on the boards, and they will drive it back in there through Boyd. Now it goes across, and the puck fired wide harmlessly by the Australian team. Trying to make a connection there with Suckling, but he couldn't get it, and the Kiwis with a chance to send the puck all the way to Moe, which is where you don't want it to go. And now the Kiwis with a chance to show us how they're going to set up their defensive zone face-off. They were going for a bit of a 1-2 pattern. Shot fired wide, high up to the very capable hands there of Lucas Duggan, who just plucks it out of the sky. It's mine. Clock stops. We have 1 minute and 25 seconds to go on the penalty on Luke Ferland. That one was for a hook. So your stick impedes the progress of another player. Referees will usually be a bit lenient at that through the neutral zone, but in the defensive zone they'll be quite strict on it. Another important face-off for the Kiwis. The Australians win it though. But the Kiwis got enough body in the way there just to clear the puck out. It was nice work, a little bit of luck, but sometimes you need that there for Moby Haysmith. And he's going in to put the pressure on and break the Australian attack up. The Kiwis now moving back to try and set up their pattern. Haysmith having to race back quick. Shot fired from an angle. Nicely saved though. The Kiwis managed to get it out of the zone. Wouldn't they love a shorty? Here they go. Onto the stick of Graham, who gets a shot. It's loose in the slot. They've got another chance now, the Kiwis, but pushed off it was Harricks. And we have a whistle. It looks like we have an interference call on the goaltender. So the Kiwis now will go into the box there through, and that'll be Moby Haysmith sitting 2 there for the Kiwis. So now 5-on-3 for the Australians. This is going to put the Kiwi team under a lot of pressure for about 53 seconds with both Ferland and Haysmith in the box. So they're 5-on-3. The Kiwis here will need to occupy the space in front of the zone and make sure that that very high-risk area is occupied. They must win this face-off. They do. Unfortunately for them, of course, because it's 5-on-3, they can't do much with it except try and clear the puck out of the zone. The Australians obviously with a big advantage. Boyd now for the Australians tries to play it in as the Kiwis got to own that space in front of the net. They're going to move the puck around a lot, the Australians. They get a shot. It's in traffic, it's loose, but the Kiwis clear the puck out of the zone beautifully there. Nice piece of backhand there. Instinctive play was exactly the right thing there by Lincoln Gurnall, and he cleared it out as the Australians reload. 26 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Australians want to get it in quickly and take advantage of this. The Kiwis having to set up a triangle. And you can see the battle there for space in the slot as that gets fairly fierce. Boyd now flings it in from a distance, but seeing it nicely there, Duggan, and he just says, "No, mine." Shut that one down. We have 8 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. So Luke Ferland will be back on the ice in 8 seconds. This is where the Australians need to be a little bit careful. Ferland's going to come on behind the play, and if they're not aware of that, the Kiwis got to pass up the ice to him. He could be away on the stretch. It'll be very interesting to see if they're alert to it or not. Just 8 seconds to go, and he'll be behind the play. Australians win the face-off. Mucking around with it high. They go cross ice, and they're looking to get a shot away. It's through traffic. Back to 5-on now as Ferland comes back into the game. There's a loose puck for him, but unfortunately he's skated straight past it. Now coming back the other way, the Kiwis though, they've got a chance onto the stick of McDowell. McDowell winds, shoots it high, bounces off the chesty of the goaltender. It's a good opportunity, 5-on-4 now. Now come the Australians to reload, but McDowell gets a stick onto that cross ice pass, and it's deflected in deep. No icing now, the call. As the Kiwis look to clear the puck out of the zone, but there's green bodies in the way. They shut that one down. The clearance bad. And now the Australians try to reset. Puck across the front of the slot. It was a nice piece of play, looking for a tip in. And the Kiwis back there with sufficient pressure to shut that one down. Just 27 seconds to go on the penalty, and then we're back to full strength hockey. The Australians haven't got too many shots on the net from this one, even the 5-on-3. They shoot it high over the top. And Duggan will just watch that one sail by harmlessly. The Kiwis now look to rim it out, but there's bodies nicely on the boards there. That was held in beautifully by Sucha. The Kiwis this time, though, they clear the puck out. That's going to do it for the penalty. Just 5 seconds to go before back on the ice will come Haysmith. See how they reset the Kiwis as Walton tried to do something. Everyone ran into each other. Highsmith ran out of the box, ran into his own teammates, and there's a tangle. But no harm, no foul on that one. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. And now the Australians looking to put the puck into the slot, but a good battle for position there in front of it. Kiwis doing a great job there. Stout, resolute defence there by Hadro. He owned that space nicely. Not scoring on me, Sunshine. That's not going to happen. And now they battle up through the half forwards. It's picked up again by the Australians. Up high on the blue line. Pressure there by Hadro, who's just making his presence known. This is a contact sport. Sorry, not Hadro. That was Highsmith. Now the Kiwis with a bit of room. They've got an opportunity for a breakout. But unfortunately there for Walton, it was just a little bit out of his reach. Now the Australians back with an opportunity. Loose in the high slot. Racing across there was Nalos. And we've got a goal. Nalos was high. He wasn't the one that got the shot. We'll see this one on the replay. It looks like Duffy there flying in. Gets a shot. You can see the players up high in the slot. A little bit of an enterprising forehand as a flick around. I'll be able to tell you who that was in just a moment. My apologies because the cut-off, the replay just shut off just a smidge before I got a chance to see it. But hopefully I can get you that statistic in just a second. As the two teams reset, and the Australians now with a 2-goals-to-1 lead with 1 minute and 15 seconds to play in the first. Australians win the face-off. Circling around, looking for some room there. Thurston, no pressure on him at the moment. He plays up high, looking for the stick of Duffy. Went just past him, going to pick it up a Harricks for the Kiwis into the corner. And he's caught in front of the Zamboni doors, but gets past. Looks up high, tries to chip it. Again, looking for sticks. The Kiwis clear the puck out of the zone, which is good, but they haven't got much enterprise on it. Now they've got a bit of a chance though, but it's flung in deep by the Australians. Going back now to pick it up, Harricks. He's got all the time and space in the world to think. Always a bad thing. Plays the puck up, fries Barker. Barker went cross ice and it was immediately picked by the Australians there in Hamilton. Not the town, the player. And now the Kiwis with a little bit of room. Flying up now, Graham. He puts a shot on. That bobbles loose in front. Nice place there, Graham. It was high. And Scott didn't have any issues with plucking that one out. Sorry, Hale had no issues with pulling that one out of the sky. And with 21 seconds to go, it's Australia 2 from 21. So 9% of the Australian shots have gone in. Save percentage for the Kiwis of .905. They're doing well there as well. The Kiwis 1 from 9. The Australians 2 from 21. The ice definitely tilting towards the Kiwi goal. Velen now has to race back and pick it up. Not much time left on the clock, just 15 seconds. As now the Australians dump it in deep. It's going to go rimming around the back of the boards. One last hurrah in the period. Just a few seconds now to go. Kiwis with a chance though. It's picked off there by Highsmith. But he's robbed again, and now it comes back the other way. And this is going to run the clock down. And that will end the first period. So 2-goals-to-1 at the end of the first. Both teams are crediting themselves very well at the moment. I'll give you the stats on this on the goal scorers in just a moment. First goal there for Angus Hayes from Pravecki, and that was 13 minutes in, which gave the Australians the early lead. But then Ryan Howard, unassisted, got that one back with 6 and a bit minutes to go. And then Duffy from Sucha took the Australians out to 2-goals-to-1 lead with just over a minute to play in the second. We have a brief break now for about 3 or 4 minutes while the teams have a little bit of a chat. Sorry, Tello, 4.5 minutes. We'll be back with you in 4 minutes for the second period. Well, welcome back to the Ice HQ Ice Rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia on Warranjoy Woiwurrung Traditional Land. We're about to have the second period of the 3v4 final in the Youth Pan Pacific tournament here between Australia Green and New Zealand. The first period, a thriller indeed. The ice mostly tilting in the way of the Australians and the scoreboard reflecting that 21 shots on the net as the scorer sees it to 9 to the Kiwis. Goals early on to Angus Hayes from Privecki with 13 minutes in, and then the Kiwis struck back. Ryan Howard unassisted, getting one with 6.5 minutes to go, and then Duffy with just over a minute to play from Sucho managed to put the Australians back in the lead with a nice little shot into the slot and taking advantage there. The goaltenders for both teams so far well tested. Xavier Hale in the net for Australia Green and Lucas Duggan for the Kiwis, both doing an excellent job so far, good save percentages. So the Australian goaltender with a save percentage of .889 so far, and Duggan with 9.905. So good save percentages for them so far. But the Kiwis will look to just shut down that space in front of the net a little bit more. They've had some good chances. And now the second period. We'll have a cut at the end of the second period. So the ice now a little bit tired. The game will slow down a touch. We're about to get underway in the second. Referees just checking in. A healthy crowd in here at Ice HQ on a crisp Monday morning. Oh, he comes and plays hockey on a Monday morning. But anyway, it's dumped in the ice by the Kiwis. Racing now to pick it up, though, for the Australians. Privecki, he was under pressure, but they break out now, the Australians. They get clearance of the zone. Getting past the poke check there of Furlan. As in the corner now is Hayes. Hayes is ridden hard off the puck. Comes up to the point, though. Arthur couldn't keep it in. Battling past now. McDowell's got room. McDowell gets onto his forehand, shoots, goes just across the front of the net, achingly close for the Kiwis. They keep it in the zone now, but there was no one in deep. And now just getting a little bit cute with the puck and circling around there. Privecki is trying to clear the puck out of the zone. Doesn't though, does. Just goes just achingly there through the feet of Brian, who couldn't contain it. And it's lobbed in, but wide behind the net by the Australians as Hamilton now picks it up. He dumps it behind the net. Not much on it, and the Kiwis managed to clear the zone. A lot of time there is racing back to pick it up, or coasting, I should say, Boyd. And he's got all the time in the world as the two teams changing a minute into the period. Australia looking to break it out. Just a little bit messy, though. Pressure there coming through by Max Barker, who did a good job of disrupting the play. Second time, though, to get around in the Australians as Brian tries to get a shot through traffic, but there's Kiwi bodies in the way. They clear the puck out of the zone, and they will have to reset the Australians as going back now to pick it up Hannon. And he's got a bit of room. Bit of a forechecking pressure there by Barker, but he gets swept off the wrong way. Chipping across their barrier, who jumped it in. And just shoved off the ice for his carrying. Sorry, was shoved off the ice for his pleasure. And now the Australians coming back up. But Kiwis back in numbers, doing a nice job early on in this period. 13.5 minutes to play in the second. 2 goals, 2-1, 1 goal to lead. Just fanning there in the pass, though. Trying to get the puck around the back of the net was Haddo. Tired ice now in the second as the ice is dug up after the enterprising first period. Australians now trying to put the puck in the slot, but there was Kiwis there in sufficient numbers to shut that chance down. Now they've got another chance, though, the Australians in Gretzky's office. They play the puck from behind the net. Goes up high onto the slip of Boyd, who flings it in. Save had to be made there by Duggan, who got down on it nicely and shut the 5-hole. And there on the blue line for the Australians. And we have a little bit of push and shove in the corner, and we're going to have trotting over to the penalty box by the look of it will be Noah Todd. He's doing 2 for something. I should know what that means. So the Australians with another power play. Now the Kiwis did a great job earlier on the penalty kill. At one point, the Australians with a 5-1-3 advantage and they couldn't score. So we know the Kiwis penalty kill very effective so far. Doesn't mean you want to give them away, though. Kiwis win the face-off there nicely there. Gurnall did a great job on it. He's got to win those defensive zone face-offs on the penalty kill, and he did. Not able to keep, just able to keep the puck in there. It was Sipakov. Kiwis, though, they clear it out of the zone nicely, send the puck all the way down to the Darebin Creek end of the rink. Not that that means anything to you from New Zealand, but it's the other end. Now the Australians break it up. Good pressure by the Kiwis on the forecheck there. Nice piece of work indeed by Moo. He did a terrific job there of shutting it down. The Kiwis can run the clock down now a little bit, and they fling the puck all the way back down to the Zamboni gate. And that bounces off, and that's killed another 15 seconds or so of the penalty. Great job on the penalty kill so far by the New Zealanders. This is the second time it's been exercised, and they've done very well indeed. Trying to get past the pressure was the Australians, but it's dumped out there. Gurnall who throws it in deep. The Kiwis will be looking to get a change. They've been on the ice now for a minute on the kill, and they do. They start to get the changes happening, and timing that nicely. Smooth rotation of players on the kill, showing maturity well beyond the age group of these players. As tumbling, bouncing puck goes all the way back in. Challenge there for Hale in the net for the Australians. One of those things, because they can bounce over you and really make you look a bit silly. As now the Australians looking to break it out for checking pressure there, though, by Walton. And now the puck will go behind the back of the net. The Kiwis with a chance to rip it hard around the net, and they do. They drive it out of the zone and send the puck all the way back. Getting in the way of it, though, was Sipakov. And he gets around some pressure. He's got a little bit of room as Hanellos had to get back on side. Just puts his body in the way, but can't take the puck with him. It'll be Furlan now for the Kiwis, battling for it in the corner. Just 18 seconds to go on the penalty. It's battling down in the corner for the Kiwis. Can they clear it out of the zone? The Australians end up with it, though. Boyd now with a chance to get a shot away. Elects instead to pass it across the front, found to Hallis. Hallis back to Boyd in the corner, back up to Hallis, cycling the puck around now. Tries to get a shot away. It's a bit of a fakie. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Kiwis back to full strength. The puck was loose in the slot, but they couldn't get it in there, the Australians. They had a chance. Bryan flings it, but again, there's bodies in the way. It's hit something, and someone's going to have a stinger on the back of the leg from that one. Puck now in the slot, picked up there by Todd. And he's battling with three green bodies, but Walton manages to push it through in the end as well. Now the Kiwis battling in front of their own boards. The Australians pick it up there, though, on the stick of Bryan. Bryan chips it in deeply. Remember, the Australians, they don't need to score the goals. The Kiwis need 2 to win. It's still early days. The Australians clear it out. Nice piece of stick work there by McDowell, who's been playing excellent hockey so far for the Kiwis. The Australians move it up the ice. They got through traffic. It's onto the stick of Walton. Walton takes a shot. It goes wide. Second chance, second effort. In the way there was Duggan, who shut it down. Good work under pressure. Great scoring opportunity there for the Australian team. But Duggan was up to the challenge and saw the loose puck. You can just see that second chance. It's bobbling around, but gets a glove on top of it. Says, sorry, Brian. That's mine. 9 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the second. Australia 2, New Zealand 1. We're back to full strength hockey. You can see the way the Kiwis have set up their defensive zone face-off. Wingers blasting up quickly. That was Haysmith moving up fast. He goes up to the point to try and shut it down. It's fired in, though. Save made by Duggan once more. It's from a bad angle and a long distance, but sometimes they go. Put the puck in front of the net. Magic will happen at times. Flying now into the corner to pick up Graham. He looks around trying to find someone loose in the slot. Hasn't got anyone there now. The Australians back in defence and owning that spot nicely there. Through the big green bodies there. Arthur doing a good job. And we've got a stoppage. Arthur, without doubt, the biggest gentleman on this ring. But looks like the goal was moved off its moorings. So that will just be reset, and we'll have a face-off somewhere. Everyone looking a little bit confused as to where's the referee going to end up and where's his face-off going to be. Still just a little bit confused as to what's going on. Might be Arthur heading over. No, we've got 5-on-5, no penalty. So everyone confused as getting back on the ice there. Hayes for the Australians to take the face-off against Graham. Hayes wins the face-off behind the net, and it's rimmed around by Prevecki. The Australians looking to get the puck out of their zone smartly, and they do. But it's picked up there instead and robbed by Graham, who circles around, tries to find some options. Looking cross ice, he was tempted, you could see, but don't do that. The Australians will pick it up off the boards. You can see that temptation in his eyes as Graham now goes into the corner, hits the brakes, looking for an option. He had one. It's a good chance to get the puck there to Haysmith, but Haysmith was under a lot of pressure. Now the shot fired from a distance through traffic. It hits bodies, and it's bobbling around, but Xavier Hale dives on the puck and says, that's all mine. It's always going to be a little bit of push and shove and contention in that area in front of the net. The interference rules there are relaxed a little. It's a battle for position, so that's where if things are going to escalate and get a few frayed tempers at times, And that's where it is going to happen. And we're certainly seeing Arthur there getting a bit feisty for the Australians. It is a battle. And the Kiwis now looking to clear the puck out. Referee trying desperately to get out of the way of it. He's now getting onto a backhand, goes across the back of the net. There was Sucha, but he couldn't get it anywhere useful. The back-checking pressure there by McDonald was excellent. McDonald now with the puck, looking for options. Went cross ice, and it ran into the feet of Bryan. Bryan tried to wind, but Gurnall got a stick in the way of it just when he needed to. Blasts past the forechecking, the pinching D, but Boyd will go back and pick it up for the Australians. He's being harried though. Great pressure there and great work by Gurnall, who has been outstanding through this game. Gets pushed off the puck. The Kiwis fling it in hard there through Harricks. It's loose in the slot. Goalie committed down and lost sight of it. Couldn't quite take advantage of it now. The tempo just going up in this game, getting a little bit more physical. Referee with a hand up for an icing, and it will be called. The intensity in the last couple of minutes has noticeably increased in this game. The two teams pretty keen to win this one. Kiwis would love to take something home from this tournament. It's not a huge trip across the ditch, but I'm sure they'd like to take one win. And if you're going to win one, a final is the one to win. And they finish third. And get the win that they would desperately like. Taking the face off for them will be Todd. Will he run it into a forehand shot on the net? He's on his back. He's on his forehand. He's got a chance to. Or will he play it back to his D? Goes back to his D partner. But the Australians will break it out nicely. That quick movement of the wingers from the defensive zone face-off. Getting through in a nice little backhander. It's loose in front of the slot. Great play there by Sucha. Moved quickly up. And again, just a little bit of frustration from the Kiwis in front of the slot. A little bit of push and shove, but no significant escalation. It is a feisty game, hockey. Controlled ferocity is what it needs to be. So another defensive zone face-off for the Kiwis. Can they return the favour and create that breakout back the other way with speed? The Australian defence pinching right in close. It's brave. They'll get away with it on this occasion, but you can see if the Kiwis are fast about it, and they were, now they've got a 2-on-2. As on the stick of was Todd. He had a chance. Todd's loose in the slot. Can he get on the backhand? It just got past him. Now the Australians coming back the other way with a bit of room. Shot fired from the distance, but getting in the way of it nicely and breaking up that play was Sangster. And he shut it down. So now they battle in the corner. Shot fired from the distance, Sipakov, but that wouldn't go. There was bodies in the way. It didn't make its way through to the goaltender. And we've got a penalty on the Australians this time, and heading over to the box is Hansen. Looks like we've got mutual penalties, so we're going to have 4-on-4 for a little while. So we'll have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 hockey. It opens up a fair bit more space on a full-size NHL rink like size rink like this one, which is 61 metres by 26 metres. 200 foot by 85 for those of us who are old and crusty. Or from the Northern Hemisphere where they refuse to metricate and put Mars probes out of orbit for all the wrong reasons. But regardless, the 4-on-4, no, it's a lie, it's 5-on-5. Not quite sure why that's happened, but anyway, mutual penalty. Forget all that stuff about all that extra space, we're 5-on-5. The Kiwis now looking to get it out of their zone. And they do smartly there. The fast feet of Graham runs into room, gets past the hip check. It was a bit predictable, that one. You could kind of see it coming from about half an hour away. The Australians chip it out of the zone, get it up to Aspinall, who tries to chip it in, but there's bodies in the way for the Australians. But in the end, it's lobbed in fairly ineffectively onto the stick there of Graham, who tries to find a bit of room, winds, shoots, but it's wide, and it's plucked out of the sky there by Hale in the net for the Australians. It wasn't going to go in, so the scorers won't call that one as a goal. If you're not quite sure how the shot count works, it only counts as a shot if, in the scorer's opinion, it would have gone in the net if the goalie didn't save it. Now, goalie may say, I stopped 30 shots, but if only 20 of them would have gone in, that doesn't count as a shot on the net. So that may explain why there's sometimes a discrepancy between what you think happened and what actually happened, and what the scorer thought was what happened. Again, the scorer's angle is over here on the side of the rink, so they don't have the best view of exactly what's going on either. Puck was broken out of the zone by the Australians, but straight back in with some enterprising back-checking work by the Kiwi forwards. Not able, though, to keep it in was Howard. He has to go back and clean it up, as he's ridden hard off the puck there. It's a bit of a how-do-you-do from Benetti. Getting an elbowing call there now. And it's going to be one of the Australians heading into the box for an elbow. Now, one of the issues with elbows in junior leagues is that quite often you get someone fairly large, like Dane Arthur for the Australians, and someone relatively small. And it's pretty hard to sometimes keep your elbows out of the way in that context. But we will have the Kiwis with a power play now for 2 minutes. The other 2 penalties are over on the drop of the puck. So we should have that cleared out. So we will be 5 on 4 for 2 minutes or less. And the Kiwis did score on their previous power play with a beautiful shot in from the blue line, and it was unassisted. And that was by Howard way back in the first. 5 minutes and 48 seconds to go. Shot dribbles across the front of the net for the Kiwis, but the Australians managed to shut that one down. There wasn't much on it. No one there to take advantage of that rebound. Put the puck in the net. Put the puck in the net. Sorry, put the puck in the net and get your stick down there and see if you can make it happen. Don't scroll that one back on YouTube and grab the audio. Cut that one out. No 7-second delay here, but the Australians coming through. They get past the Kiwi defence. That was Sucha who now goes into the corner. And they're on the kill, the Australians. There's only 4 of them on the ice. They want to be careful they don't overcommit. Here come the Kiwis, though. They've now got the advantage. As Graham puts the puck across, found the stick nicely of Gurnall. I've seen the Kiwi special teams work very well, but the Australians clear it out of the zone this time. 1 minute and 23 seconds to go on the Arthur penalty. Gurnall now being pressed by Bryan, manages to clear the puck around the side. He's trying to find some connection, but that loose bouncing puck. And Harricks runs into some trouble. Gurnall, though, still going. It's picked up, though, through the middle by Moo. Moo tries to do something interesting with it. The Australians stepping up on the blue line. The check there delivered by Sucha. They want to be careful. If you miss those checks, it's a bit of a disaster. They look great when they happen, but you do overcommit sometimes. And if it's missed, then you have a problem because you've got big numerical advantages. The Kiwis reset now. You can see Antonetti there. Benetti for the Australians just keeping an eye on it. They don't need to do too much, the Australians. They've got the lead. It's the Kiwis under pressure to score. Certainly the tempo has increased in the last few minutes of this game. Kiwis now with just 25 seconds to go on the power play. They had some chances early, but the Australians have shut it down nicely with some controlled aggression. At least hopefully controlled. He's now trying to do something with that carrion, but he can't get past Moo, who shut that one down. Harricks now gets past the blue line defence. Tries to get to lose someone in the slot. They've got a loose player on the slot, the Kiwis. Standing back to Arthur back on the ice, a penalty over. Arthur decides to extend the penalty by skating straight over to the bench. I never understand that move, but anyway. It's picked up now. Bryan, though, he came on from the bench, but he's pushed hard off the puck. The Australians will fire it in wide. It was a bit of a cannon there fired by Sipakov, but it wasn't going to go anywhere particularly useful. Big hit on the boards. Referee's calling that one. I think there's a foul on it. It was just inadvertent. We're going to stop the clock as hopefully the young man is okay. Bit slow to get to his feet. Just wait and see as all his teammates collecting around him. It looks like he's up. Possibly a lower leg injury by the look of it, just favouring one foot. Hopefully no serious injury. Sometimes those board battles, you can go awkwardly into the boards, get in a foot caught or hit the boards at a bad angle. So in contact hockey, there's a danger zone of around about 0.5 metre to about 3 metres away from the boards, which is where you don't want to be, because if you do come down, that's when you're likely to hit the boards at awkward angles. I think that is McDowell being helped off the ice, but I'll be able to confirm that in a few moments. And to get a resumption, 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go on the clock in this second. Face-off won by the Kiwis there. But it's Hayes who runs into a brick wall of Walton. He just says, thank you very much. Walton shut Hayes down there nicely. You've got to keep your head up. The Kiwis go cross ice out of D. It's risky. They get away with it. Is now trying to pick it up there. Todd, who rattles the boards. Certainly the physicality going up now. But Moo's going to sit two. I think it is. Todd is going to sit two for the Kiwis. And as a result, the Australians will have the power play. You've got to be mindful in this circumstance if you are playing in something that the younger players and some of the older players too really need to get their heads around is you've got to maintain your discipline. If you go giving away penalties, it's one thing to be physical, but you've got to keep it under control. And young players can get understandably emotional, as indeed can old players at times. We know plenty of them. But, maintaining that discipline when you're under pressure and concentrating on the scoreboard, trying to get that goal back. And now the Kiwis have to kill a penalty, which is not what they would have wanted. The Australians haven't scored on the power play, but they get a good chance there with a shot in from a distance. And this time they do. The shot was fired in, and you can see it bounce off the back of the boards. On this replay, hopefully we'll get enough of view of it. So there's a nice juicy rebound around the back, and then we missed it on the coverage. I'm sorry, we missed out on that one, but I'll tell you who scored it in a moment or two. About the replay, but you can scroll it back on your live feed if you want to and get a better view of it than I can, and you'll be able to see exactly what happened. But the Australians taking advantage of that power play. It wipes the penalty, of course, so back onto the ice. Full strength is New Zealand, but now with a 2-goal deficit with just under 3 minutes to play in the second. But the coaches, I'm sure, will be telling them, come on boys, just keep your head screwed on. You're in this game. As the Australians just push the puck back into the zone. Comes across now to the stick of Haddo, who gets it up past before checking pressure, looking up ice. He's trying to get a connection to McDowell. He was not the one who hurt his leg, presumably. The Australians break it out now, one-on-one, turning everyone inside out, getting past everyone. Brian, who gets a shot, save made at the last though by Duggan, was a good one. That's a match-defining save there. It was a good piece of play by Benetti, I think it was, who made the chance. Got past all the defence, except the one that counts. And, Duggan made that one safe with a great save under pressure, keeping the Kiwis in this game. Done that all tournament. He's now up onto the blue line, just managing to keep the puck on the line, but then unfortunately chipping it across was Haddo. Couldn't quite keep it in the way he would have liked. Kiwis now with a bit of a chance, gets on to, you see the hit there, an attempt by Hannon is beaten, and it's so risky when you take that high ice hit, because if a player does get past you, and the Kiwis did, you have a numerical disadvantage in close to the net where you don't want it. As Gurnall's pushed hard off the puck. Reminiscent of a 1980s rugby league game between the two countries. As now the Australians look to clear it out of the zone, and they do. The Kiwis changing on the bench. They've got to be a little bit careful there, but it's not an issue if you're deliberately making the change. As battling for the puck and pushed off it was Furland. And now we've got a bit of a pile up in the corner. Players pretty keen to get back onto their feet. A little bit of an escalation there now occurring as the emotions rising, but the boys mostly just standing around. And the clock will stop once more. And it looks like this time we are getting a penalty on the Australians as ambling over Benetti will be sitting two. He's getting two for a roughing. Not necessarily a bad hit in the first instance, it's the escalation afterwards, which is where it got interesting. It looks like also going over to the box is Haysmith for the New Zealanders. So we will have, we're going to get 4 on 4 this time. No, it's 5 on 5 again. Mutual penalty. That's the Gretzky rule. Gretzky loved getting mutual penalties in the old days to get 4 on 4 hockey to give you more room, but those rules have changed a long time ago. So now it's back to 5 on 5 with just over a minute, just on a minute to go in the second. 2 goals the lead to the Australians. They keep it in there. Sipkoff managed to keep it in, but it's stolen, and Graham tried to break it out. Chipping it in there was Gurnall. Graham and Gurnall have been very effective, these two, for the New Zealand team so far, but they need to get some goals. And we've got another whistle. The referee calling a tripping foul. It's heading over to the box for a trip. Will be Nalos. We'll sit two. So the Kiwis will now have an advantage for the last 41 seconds of this period. And then we'll be going for an ice cut. They'll have fresh ice. And unless they score a goal, they'll be starting the third with a numerical advantage for 1 minute and 19 seconds. Not a bad way to start the period if they can get that goal back. If they can take advantage of this penalty, which they desperately need to do to get themselves in this game, give themselves a chance. They fling it in from a distance through traffic, but bodies in the way for the Australians. Puck now in the corner. Referee just getting tangled up in it, but the Australians send the puck all the way to the cafe. Go fetch, they say. And 20 seconds to play in the period. Kiwis down by 2, 3 goals to 1 to the Australians as the puck caught on the half forwards now. Carrion tries to get past the defence, just managed to chip it through the feet, but not enough for it to go. The last gasp of the period. We've got a whistle for, I think, an offside. Linesman Briar Johnson there just calling that one up. Won't get much past Briar. And with 5 seconds to play in the second period, the Kiwis on the power play, sitting in the box for Australia is Sam Nalos. Kiwis, they need to win this face-off and get a shot away very smartly if they can. The Australians would just like to kill it. They do get a shot away, but it's distant. It's about all you could do. It was the right thing to do there by Furlan to fling it in and get a bit of hope on it. But that was all he could do in that context. So we have a break now for an ice cut. We'll be back with you in 15 minutes for the third and final period of this game between the Australian Green Machine and the New Zealand team. So we'll be back with you in 15 minutes for period 3.
It's a gift. And it's a thief. It heals. It teaches. And it can be on your side. It can even fly. We can try to get ahead of it, but it marches on. Time. It can be measured in eras and accomplishments and historical milestones. CCM measures time by its impact. We are the past. We are the future. CCM, we are hockey.
To truly focus in this game, you have to block everything else out and embrace the familiar. At CCM, the Ribcord Trigger 9 Pro is designed for a quick release because this game can change in an instant. CCM, feel more.
With the JetSpeed FT8 Pro skates, speed comes from the right balance of technology, comfort, and determination, and a personal drive to continually outdo yourself. We are untouchable. Our eFlex 7 goalie equipment is designed so you can be quick and reactive, because all it takes is a split second for their highlight to become yours.
Saved by Demko.
We are stealing the show.
The CCM FTW skate is made for athletes. It is specially built for women, by women, so while it's designed for all women's feet, it's also tailor-made for you. CCM, we are hockey.
Leaders may be born, but breaking records comes from the quickest release. The Ribcord Trigger 10 Pro provides effortless loading for a stealthy shot, perfect if you want to outdo yourself this year. We are goal scorers.
Did you know there are 218,952 female hockey players in the world? They all have their own strengths, their own ambitions, their own styles, and they all need their equipment to fit their way. No two are exactly alike. That's why CCM designs and develops equipment for each one of them. Because they all have their own feel for the game. CCM, feel more.
In minor midget, I switched to CCM, and ever since then, it was the best decision I made.
Innovation takes more than a light touch. It takes hard work. With CCM's revolutionary technology, the Vision Stick is designed for easier loading and a lightning-quick release, so your game shines. CCM, we are hockey.
Power isn't a force from above. Power is made. CCM designs for power. That's why the Tacx XF Pro Stick is such a powerful and accurate shot. CCM, feel more. Ability comes from strength. Strength comes from confidence. Confidence comes from preparation. Prepare yourself with Tax XF Pro Protective. CCM. Feel more.
The helmet's been fantastic. I think first and foremost from just like whether it's with the skate or your glove or any type of equipment, just the comfort of putting it on and just the way it feels, and getting that specialization with the specifics on it, doing some of the measurements beforehand, and really getting that comfort and fit, and obviously level of protection dialed in, and you notice that instantly right away. And obviously I had a traumatic incident involving my head and an injury this playoffs, and you know, I feel very fortunate to be where I am today, and nothing really serious came out of it other than the actual incident, and I'd like to think that the helmet was a big part of helping me being able to come out of it and being where I am and getting ready for next season.
Ritual and result. At CCM, the JetSpeed FD7 Pro is designed to emphasize puck feel and versatility, so you can feel at home anywhere. CCM. Feel more.
The nest tech part of this is pretty great. I think how it's cool how it fits your head great. It kind of nests down on your head like it says there, so I love everything about this helmet.
Nossa, é só de fim de semana.
Hey guys, Haley Wynn here with Team CCM. Looking forward to getting started. So I have 3 older brothers that all play hockey, so that's kind of what started my passion for it. My dad's built an outdoor rink in the backyard when we were little, and kind of just followed in their footsteps, and yeah, fell in love with it. Yeah, it would mean so much to be a top draft pick in the PWHL. I think obviously when you're a little girl, this is what you dream of. You dream of representing your country and to being able to play this sport as long as you can. So that wasn't always an option for women's hockey, but being able to grow up in this time with so many trailblazers, and it's a really cool time for women's hockey.
Welcome back to the Ice HQ Ice Rink in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia for resumption of Trans-Tasman hostilities. Australia Green versus the New Zealand Kiwi team. at the start of the third. The second period was one where not very many goals were scored. It didn't touch the scoreboard very much, the Australians with just the one. Where it got interesting was on the penalty count. It did get a bit feisty in the second. Nellis with the sole goal in the second to take the Australians out, and it was a power play goal to the Australians. But the score at the moment, 3-1 in favour of Australia from 29 shots to 16, so roughly 2-1 the shot ratio. But what got interesting in the second was a significant escalation in the temperature on the ice. Penalty counts, I'll just run through them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 penalties handed out in the second period. So it was certainly getting fairly rigorous, for lack of a better. And the Kiwis will be starting the third period with 1 minute and 19 seconds of power play advantage. As sitting in the penalty box will be Sam Nellis for Australia. He's doing 2 for tripping. Kiwis all lined up and ready on the ice while the Australians are taking their time to get out here at Ice HQ. Full NHL size rink here. 61 metres by 26 metres, or in old school 200 feet by 85 feet. If you wish to use the North American measures, which is a standard NHL size arena, proper size rink. And everyone here having a great time on the tournament. We would love to see the Kiwis get a couple back early in this period and really make a game of it. They've been thwarted throughout the tournament. They haven't won a game yet. They've had some good opportunities. Just a little bit of inconsistency at time has cost them. But certainly for them, outstanding players have been Graham and Gurnall, who have been brilliant. Certainly very effective on the check, and so too Moo. Moo has been excellent as well. But their goaltender has been excellent too. Lucas Duggan in the net between the pipes for the Kiwis as the Australians make their way out. And notice there's a bunch of people sitting over in the box because we did have some mutual penalties from earlier as well. But we are 5-on-4 to start the third. 15 minutes. If it's tied up at the end of regulation, we will go to 3-on-3 sudden death, 5 minutes overtime. But the Kiwis are starting the third with a 1 minute and 20-second advantage. They win the face-off and chip it through. But it's played out straight away. Hannon, who dumped the puck up the ice. Couldn't get it out of the zone, though. The Kiwis keeping it in. This is where they want to get that goal early, get themselves right into it. Harrick calls for it. Goes across ice. Kiwis setting up the shot. They take a shot from a distance. It's loose. Swallowed up, though, by Hale, who makes that one safe. Sorry about the noise in the background. The guys in the penalty box getting very excited about the game as well. They might. International competition for these teams is a great opportunity for them to improve their hockey and put it on their resumes. As the Kiwis set it up again. 1 minute and 2 seconds to go on the power play. The referee just coming over for a chat with the scorers about some infraction or other. It's all good, no harm, no foul there. As the Kiwis crowding right in close on the face-off. You can see Harrick's moving in tight. If the Australians get past them, there's a chance here for a shorty. They've got to be careful, the Kiwis. They don't get overexcited on the power play. They do have the advantage, but crowd in too close. The team gets behind you, and there's nothing more embarrassing than a shorty. You would not want that to happen, as it's rimmed up around the boards there by Hannon. Gets the puck out of the zone, though. It's cleared. Just watching it sail past there was Duggan, who maybe could have come out and played it to get a bit more pressure on the Australians. Chooses not to, though, as now the Kiwis look to set it up the ice and get moving. They've got Moo waiting up on the blue line for it. He ends up with the puck just behind him. It's chipped in that time instead by Gurnall, but he had to give the puck away. The Australians now with possession, and they can run the clock down. They don't need to score. They've got a 2-goal lead. The Kiwis with the pressure on them. The Australians chip it all the way through, though. Racing now to pick it up, I think, was Arthur. Sorry, not Arthur, Hannon. But now it's dumped back, and just 17 seconds to go on the power play for the Kiwis. I don't think they've got a shot so far this time. They got one early on, but the Australians dump it again. Going back now to pick it up is Furland. Furland pressured. Can't clear the puck cleanly out of the zone. We're back to full strength in just a moment as Arthur comes back onto the ice. Sorry, Nalos comes back onto the ice. And we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Australians with a shot from a distance. And it was fired in there by the blue liner in Sucha. But the save made by Duggan once more. 13 minutes and 35 seconds to play. The power play all over now. Australians did a pretty good job of killing it. There was a shot early. But nice work by Hale to kill that one off. And now we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. The Kiwis want to get it out of their zone, get that goal quickly. It's kept in deep on the boards as they battle for position just on the curve. Now the puck reverses around the other way, and the Kiwis looking to clear it out of the puck there. Just a nice little backhander there, Walton clearing the puck out of the danger zone. It's not a bad choice. And now the Kiwis look to pick it out, but too much bodies in the way for them to get past cleanly. It was Todd who tried to make that happen. Didn't quite go. Just trying to pluck the puck out of the sky there. It was Sangster, but it went past him. And now has to rim it around the back of the net. Clears it up the boards. Australians keep it in on the blue line, chipping it back. A little bit of table tennis going on as they go backwards and forwards, but now it's across the other side. And the Kiwis looking to break it out with a little bit of space. They managed to get the puck up through the middle, but not able to get it onto it cleanly was Walton. Back the other way come the Australians. They shoot, it's loose in the slot. Just a chance there was Sucha, but he couldn't quite get onto the backhand. Enterprising play there, but I think it was Boyd who carried it in. Another chance now, Sucha. It's loose in the slot though. Players are diving all over each other. Rugby referees will be having a field day, but this is ice hockey. It is different as one of the Australians now, a little slow to get back to his feet. Doesn't look like any sort of an injury, just a little bit of a, oh, yep, here I am and I've dropped my stick. The second period did get fairly heated at times, but this third one has been a little bit more controlled thus far. The scoreboard, however, not troubled where it needs to be for the Kiwis. They've got to get one back quickly, bring this back into a one-goal game, really give themselves a chance, put some pressure on the Australians and put a bit of fear in them. A two-goal lead is a tricky one in hockey. Quite often teams will relax and sit back on the heels with that sort of a lead. I don't think the Australians will do that, but you never know. Certainly the Kiwis will be counting on it. There's a nice forechecking pressure there. Haysmith who came up to put pressure onto Pravecki. Puck's loose in the slot, but it's safely ridden around the back by the Kiwis, who are looking now to break the puck out of the zone. They can't. There's good pressure though. Nice work there by Sepikov, who's doing a good job of keeping the puck in for the Australians. Now the Kiwis try and reverse it, but just fanning on the reversal. The Australians put it into the slot. Too many Kiwi bodies there. Now they get the puck just out of the zone, but it's only millimetres. That's all you need. Now they drive it in deep. Graham going in to put some forechecking pressure on the Australian defence. He does nicely. The puck's loose in the slot. Can the Kiwis get there first? It's still loose. Graham lost it under his feet. All his teammates yelling out, feet, feet, feet. And it's the worst place for it to be because you just can't see it. Now they look to break it out again. Forechecking pressure, putting pressure on Hadro. He was under pressure when he cleared the puck out. But they do. Graham now, who's doing a long shift, he'll be looking to get a change. Marek's now driving in. He's got to clear the puck out, puck out under a lot of pressure. Puck loose in the slot. Forced to make the save there, Duggan. Now the Kiwis with a little bit of room if they can get out. Connell was looking for it. Sorry, Gurnall was looking for that one, but in the end it bobbles out harmlessly and the Australians manage to just dump it out as they're making changes. Shot fired past Duggan is not past Duggan, it's into the net. The Australians get another one. Another little defensive lapse there. As, looks like that was Benetti who got that one. Not sure if we'll see that one on the replay or not, but the Australians out now to a 3-goal lead with just under 11 minutes to play in the second. The Kiwis found themselves in a reasonably similar situation last night when they played against Australia Gold. And they managed to get one back under a lot of pressure. Can they do it again quickly? Pressure right on them now. They must score and they must score quickly to give themselves a chance in this game. Referee with the puck stuck underneath their feet there. McDowell going in to put some pressure for the New Zealand team. As circling around with that under pressure was Thurston. Still being pushed. Very aggressive forecheck there by the Kiwis. They're going to have to down the torpedoes here a little bit. Howard now circles around, tries to chip it in. It bounces high off the boards. The Australians wisely just chipping it out there. Smart play Thurston. He's being pressured by Moo. The Australians clear the puck out of the zone again. 3 goals now, a big-ish lead, but an icing now. The call gives the Kiwis a chance to reset. At some point, they will need to pull their goalie, but it's early days for that now. Just 10.5 minutes to go in the third. If you're not familiar with the rule, you can pull your goaltender and go 6-on-5. Does, of course, open up that opportunity, but you've got to try something. Got to get another goal, and they've got to get it quickly, the Kiwis, to give themselves a real chance. The face-off there won this time by the Kiwi team, but not cleanly. And we'll get a reset. Taking the face-off there for New Zealand is Todd. He wins it nicely. This winger there was just waiting for it in Walton, but couldn't get it cleanly. Just trying to blast through everything, the Kiwis. As they get the puck in the slot, it's loose, but the rebound didn't go their way. You just need a little bit of puck luck there in that situation. Put the puck in the slot and hope something magical will happen. Sometimes it does. Just fanning on the shot, the Kiwis there. It's from the blue line, but couldn't get onto it cleanly was Furland. And now going back to pick it up is Howard, who circles around, makes a cross-ice pass indeed, gets away with it, but it's robbed there by, I think, Thurston. Just a little bit of a defensive lapse there by the Kiwis, giving that opportunity. And the Australians now opening up the taps. And looks like that was Sucha who might have got that one. So Benetti with that goal earlier for the Australians from Hansen. I'll be able to tell you that one in just a moment as well. So the lead out now to 4 goals with 9 and a bit minutes to play in the third. And the Kiwis get a bit of pride out of this. We'd love to see it. Just not able to clear the puck out of the zone cleanly there was Pravecki. Battling on the corner and just putting the puck in the slot, Carrion, but he couldn't get it anywhere useful. There was too many defensive players back there for the Australians, who have got some spring in their step now. Duffy's caught on the blue line, can't do much with it. Robbed with the puck there, Sangster. He tried to get past the pressure, that wouldn't go. Nice poke check by Hayes. As they all start to collide with each other. It's tricky in the third, everyone's getting tired. It's been an intense game, that's for sure, especially that second, which really lifted up. Graham now tries to get around the check of Ferguson. Puts it into the slot, it's loose, but around the back. Still battling away for it, Graham. But the puck will be iced by the Australians. Just making sure that that is the case was Sangster for the Kiwi team. And the Australians will have a defensive zone face-off from the icing. You see the referee giving the Kiwis a choice of which side they want it. Quite often in the circumstance, a centre will put the puck onto their forehand and try and get a shot on the net. Not making that choice though. Gunnell's going backhand, so it looks like he wants to play back. You can see the New Zealand D pinching right in. It's brave. Harricks got the puck, but was being pressed by Duffy. So now the Australians just move the puck out of the zone. Keeping it though, it was McDowell who dumped it in deep. Now they're looking for loose players in the slot, but immediately there, back there for the Australians is Arthur, who's doing a good job of saying, no, you're not scoring here. You can see them leaning on each other in the slot. No aggression to it, but at the same time, an important battle for position as the Australians have iced the puck again, but it's wiped off. Kiwis look to play it out of the puck with a bit of room now, getting past everyone except the check there of Arthur was Moo. Moo had a bit of a chance, but Arthur did a good job of just shutting that one down. Now Boyd circling around, being pressed by McDowell. Puck loose in the slot though. The Australians will need to clear it out. The Kiwis doing a great job on the forechecking pressure at the moment. Good work, McDowell, who's persistent. It's the size of the dog in the fight for sure. Here's Harricks. Wins a little battle. McDowell tries to get the puck across. Backhand, chip in. Wouldn't quite go. McDowell with the puck again. He puts it across. Harricks waiting up on the blue line for it. If they can get it up to him, he's loose. As the Australians battling for it deep in the corner. They pick it up though onto the stick of Hansen. Hansen dumps it up, finds the half boards. Australians go cross ice. They find Benetti. Benetti flying up the side. He's being pressed tightly though by the desperate back check of Harricks. And now it's in the corner. The Australians go across the front. Kiwis there in sufficient numbers. It just went achingly across the front of that. From then Duggan could get enough on it just to make sure it wasn't going to go in. Sipikoff dumps it back. The referee with a hand up for an icing. Yes, Pravecki was just on the wrong side of the red line. So he's dumping, not touched by anyone. That'll be brought back for an icing. 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the third and final period of this 3v4 final. The Trans-Tasman battle for the crumbs of the tournament. And the Kiwis get one back in a hurry and get themselves in this game. Just a couple of lapses have cost them, and that's been their story throughout the tournament. They've been very competitive, but hockey's a game of mistakes. Let just a couple too many go through. Certainly not outclassed, that's for sure. There's a shot for them. Great chance there. Not quite able to finish it off was Carrion. Quite sure Hale managed to save that one. It was a great chance. Puck now out of the zone. It's on to the stick of Sangster, who looks around, but he's robbed by the Australians, who go in and take a shot and they score. I think that was Benetti that time. He got the puck away from Sangster. You might see that one on the replay as well. Duggan now pretty tired. He's had a tough day at the office. Looks like that was indeed Joe Benetti who got that one for the Australian team. The lead out now 6-1. Australia green versus New Zealand with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. You can see Duggan's had a powerful lot of work to do. Save percentage is still pretty good for him. But unfortunately, it's just the sheer volume of shots they start to weigh up. 37 shots on the net for the Australian team. In the net for the Australians too, Hale has been superb with just a 1 from 20, including that one just earlier, which was a great opportunity for the Kiwis to get that one back. It just wouldn't quite go for them. It's a little bit heartbreaking when that happens. You do everything you can possibly do. We get another icing, and the puck will be brought back. And with 6 minutes and 31 seconds to go, I'll tell you who got that goal in just a moment. Assuming it's up on the system. And that was Haysmith, sorry, who got that one. No, sorry, it was Sucha. No, that goal hasn't been updated on our system yet. Sorry, I tell lie. I do think it was Benetti who got it, but we'll be able to confirm that in a moment once it's all settled down on the scoring system. As the Kiwis now wrap around, it was loose in the slot. No one there though. They couldn't quite get it. Just that puck luck has been doing them tough all game. And now it's on to the stick there and clearing it through of Brian. But running foul of an offside. The old rule, puck you. Puck's got to go in the zone before you do, and unfortunately the Australians just caught a little bit offside. It happens when you're moving quickly like that along the blue line. Coach is not upset by that one. It's not a careless thing. That's just an attempt to make something happen, and sometimes the timing goes awry, but it's always worth a try. As Boyd now flings it in from a distance, but it runs into traffic. And it's picked up now around the back of the net, Hadro. Now the Kiwis look to clear it out of the zone. Shot fired in from a distance, it's loose, goes across the front. Kiwis now just losing the puck under the foot there. It was Graham. Gets the puck out of the zone now. And now the Kiwis with a bit of a chance. It's 2-on-2. They take the shot. Goaltender there. Hale lost sight of it briefly. Haysmith was there looking for the rebound. But Hale had it in the pads. And that wasn't going to go. 5 minutes and 47 seconds to go in this third. The lead now 6-1, Australia to New Zealand. Not impossible. If you're a Maple Leafs fan, you felt the pain. So you don't want to take this for granted. I'm not a Maple Leafs fan, by the way, not that you care. But Leafs have certainly lost from here before. So the Kiwis still with a sniff, but it's a pretty distant chance for them. So if they can get a goal or two, that would certainly give them something to take back across the Tasman with a bit of pride. Not that they haven't played with a lot of respect. They've certainly done themselves proud here through this tournament. Just have been a little bit unlucky. Boyd steps up and makes the check on McDowell. As now they battle behind the boards, and it's Moo who's looking to try and find something happen. It went across the slot. McDowell was there. But again, just too many green bodies shutting that one down. The Australians have done a superb job in the slot of owning that space. And all the shots taken by the Kiwis have been under enormous pressure. And it certainly does help Hale in the net. And all of the shots taken on him. Apart from one or two, there's been a couple of great chances. And a save in the second by Duggan was a absolutely match-defining one. That would be my call of save of the game. As we have another face-off. Just over 5 minutes to play in the third. Face-off this time won by the Kiwis, but not to anywhere particularly useful. And now the Australians will dump the puck all the way back down to the Zamboni end for another icing. And it will be brought back again. Now the Australians caught on the change. You can see the referees over at the bench. Maybe you can on the camera. I'm not sure if it's showing you. But if you ice the puck, you're not allowed to get a change. So the Australians who are trying to get a change, get off the ice, are now stuck on the ice for a little bit longer. They may stall here a little bit just to give their heart rates a chance to get down from something tachycardic to a bit more reasonable number. It's much more intense than it looks. You watch this game and you think it isn't terribly hard. They're just skating around. And then you play it and you realise just exactly how hard it is. Australians now looking to break it out and get the puck up ice. Now they get the change they wanted. A couple of players heading off and they get some fresh legs. But they've iced it again and they're going to be brought back on the ice. Linesman just standing there And he'll pull it back on. You can see, I'm not sure if you can, but if the camera pans across, you might see the referees having a discussion with the Australian bench and Dragon players back on the ice. And there they go for another chance. This is good for the Kiwis. Tired legs for the Australians. Make it harder. Haven't been able to get the change they would have wanted. Kiwis can stack it in now. 4 minutes, just under 5 to go. We're into the final 5. Kiwis win the face-off this time, but just poking it through there. The Australians, they clear it out of the zone onto the stick of Duffy. Duffy's pushed into the corner though, can't get anything terribly useful out of it. The Kiwis coming back. Moo tried to get through, ran into Zal. That wasn't going to go. Now the Kiwis clear it up the boards. It's a good decision, but conservative. They need to throw caution to the wind now. Try and get that goal. Barker and on the forecheck along with Walton. The puck flung across into no man's land for the Australians deep into the corner. Kiwis now looking to break it up. They chip it past, but back there safely was Thurston. He drives the puck back up the ice. Good play there, Thurston, just watching it wise defensively. Now they take another shot. Firing the puck into his own player there, though, was Pravecki. Sorry, Sipakov. Get that right eventually. It's only a couple of minutes to go in the game. Next up is Australia gold versus Hong Kong. That's the gold medal game. It's a puck loose in the slot, but it's cleared out there by the stick of Furland, who has been excellent throughout the game for the Kiwis. In fact, pretty much all of them have been outstanding. Just a couple of lapses have cost them dearly. And a little bit of carelessness in the defensive zone, and your priority is obviously get the puck out of the zone as quickly as you can. You can't get cute. Sipakov tried to keep it in. It's loose in the slot. An enterprising little backhander there was fired in by Zhao, but that wouldn't go. Goes across the back of the net. 3 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the third and final. The lead 6-1 to Australia at the moment. Australia Green. They're calling themselves the Green Machine. And it certainly worked well in this game. They've been consistent and resolute. And now the puck fired in from a distance. Last line of defence there once more. Duggan proving that he's worth his weight in gold. Shot fired around the back of the net harmlessly. Australians go up high, going low to high and high to low. It's the big hit there by Haysmith. Referees are going to step in. No foul on that one. That was a clean hit. And we'll have another defensive zone face-off for the Kiwis. Can they turn it into a breakaway goal? Breakaways are where the goals are in hockey. Roughly 1 in 5 breakaways results in a goal across pretty much every level of the game. It's a great scoring chance if they can make it happen. Their wingers moving up quickly, which is good to see. The Australian defence forced to move back quickly. Arthur was seeing that threat coming as the puck is deep in on the corner. And the Kiwis managed to break it out with some speed. They get past one. It's on the stick of Moo, who went cross ice. Sucher got in the way. Shot fired, goes wide. It's getting something on it was Hale. There's a good chance there for the Kiwis from that face-off. Sucher now coming back the other way, being watched. Has to go across, losing possession of the puck. On the stick now of Nalos, who tried to do something with it, but that wasn't going to go. It's on to Zhao again. Looked up high, was being pressured by Moo. Shot just dumped into the slot into that danger area, put the puck in front of the net, and magic will happen at times. Unfortunately for the Kiwis, it hasn't happened enough for them. But they've certainly had some chances. There's the puck loose once more. Just on 2 minutes now to go. There'll be no extra stop time because all this game is stop time as they battle away in the slot. To the side of it, I should say. That's nowhere near the slot. And the Kiwis rimming around the back of the net. It's picked up on the stick of Harricks. Harricks surrounded by green jerseys. Now the Australians end up with it as they try and put the puck into the slot, but just blowing a tyre. Backhander was flung in by Sucher, but Duggan was there once more. 1 minute and 32 seconds to go in this third and final period. Australia 6, Australia Green 6-1 for the Kiwis. 43 shots on the net to 21 for the New Zealanders. So a save percentage there for the Australian goaltender of .952, which is outstanding. Hale has been superb in the net for the Australians. Certainly made some very important saves in the second. Not that any save isn't important, but they can be game-defining as Boyd now tries to get through the pressure. He's being checked there by Todd, but got past him. But now it's brought back, and Hannon looks up ice. Got one checker on him from Barker. Got past it. Now the Australians coming back the other way. We're into the last minute of the game. Puck high on the blue line. And the Kiwis get one more goal. We get a whistle. It looks like we're getting a penalty on, I think, is it Walton? So Walton is going to be sitting the last bit of the game in the penalty box, unless the Australians get a goal. And of course, they would dearly love that not to happen. The Kiwis' penalty kill has been excellent, certainly in the second when they had that 5-on-3, and they did a very good job of controlling that one. When they're focused, they've been very effective indeed. But unfortunately for Todd, he will be sitting in the penalty box for the remainder of the game. Fairly an inadvertent foul, but it happens. Now the Kiwis with a chance for a shorty. They're not pulling the goalie. Not that it's really a matter of percentage now. It's not going to matter. Sucher now tries to get past to Waller Black, and that won't go. It's fired in from distance. Duggan forced to make yet another save. 2 here on that little blast. As the Australians moving up high and taking shots from a distance. Certainly they've given Duggan a lot to think about throughout the game. But Duggan has been excellent. .864 is not a bad number for him. And another save there, Duggan, as a shot was fired in by Hansen. Now the puck up high on the blue line. It's a chance now for Boyd to do something with it. He waits, goes cross ice, finds Suter. Suter dekes round one, gets round another one, gets into the slot, but it's pushed in the end wide, went one too far. The puck just loose in the slot, and that will do it. And Australia Green has taken the game over the Kiwis. 6 goals from 47 shots to 1 from 21. So that's the Division 3, it's the third V4 final here in this Pan Pacific 17 and under tournament. Goals in the first to Hayes for the Australians, and then Howard got one back for the Kiwis on the power play with an absolute beauty from the blue line. Duffy took it out to 2-1 to the Australians from Sucher in the end of the first. In the second, it was all penalties and just the one goal, but it was to the Australians in Nalos who got one from Hansen and Boyd. And then in the third, it opened up a little bit. Benetti from Hansen, Sucher unassisted, and then Benetti unassisted took it out to a 6-1 lead. So the game goes to the Australia Green team. We'll let you watch the medal presentation for the Australians, and a great effort too by the Kiwis. Thank you very much for making it over the ditch to come here and play here in Australia. We hope you've enjoyed your time here, and we hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a few wins on the board, but your boys did themselves proud. And it was great to have everyone here playing in this tournament here at IceHQ. We've loved having you. We'll be back for the final between the Hong Kong China team and the Australian Gold team at 10 o'clock, I think it is, something along those lines. We'll be back with you then. I'll leave you with the presentation. Thank you very much for being with the show.
The Australian